Are you tired of buying overpriced firewood at the grocery store? Would you like to heat your home the entire winter with wood? And would you like a body that looked like this? Well, since we know the answer is yes, let's learn to split some wood. On Accidentally Country. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is safety. Before we start splitting wood, some people call this boring, but the most non-boring thing is ending up in the hospital because you've been stupid. So make sure you're protected. The first thing that I recommend are some good gloves. They will help the axe not slip out of your hands, to give you a good grip, and also protection in case something weird were to happen with your hands. I also make sure that I wear jeans because wood can go in many different directions. Fortunately, that's never happened to me yet, but if it does hit my legs, I want to make sure there's protection between my legs and the wood. And the last thing is, wear some closed-toed shoes. Now guys, why don't we always wear closed-toed shoes? Nobody needs to see you in flip-flops, but especially when splitting wood. I actually have some steel-toed boots. My theory is the dorkier you look, the safer you are. So I got these on Amazon. Sometimes when you hit the wood, if you don't hit it square, that axe can fly back rather aggressively. It's never hit my shoe, never hit me, but if it does, I want to make sure I'm as protected as I can be. So I've posted some links below in the description box for you to look at and explore for yourself, but these are the items I use to keep me safe and protected at all times. So people that haven't split wood before, many think that an axe is the right way to go, but actually an axe is too sharp. An axe is great for cutting down trees, but not so great for splitting wood. What's better for splitting wood is a maul, which is a little bit duller edge and heavier. What I have is a hybrid here. It's an X25 Splitting Axe. And because it's lighter, velocity is actually more important than weight when splitting wood. So this is what I use to split the wood. So what you're going to want to do is have a hard surface when you split the wood. What I use is just an old tree that I've cut down, but some other people will actually cut the base of a tree and use this to put on the ground. Where that's important is you can't put your wood on the ground and split it because a lot of that energy and force will be absorbed by the soft ground. But if you have it on a hard surface like a tree stump that you've cut out or that's existing, that energy will be absorbed in that wood and it will split much, much easier. The most important thing is you're going to want to have your feet shoulder width apart. That way you can come down clearly. If something happens and it slips, the axe will come down versus into your shin or into your shoe. So make sure they're shoulder width apart. Now what I started when I started splitting wood the first time, I started splitting like this. I would lift it up and come straight down. The problem is that's a lot of force on your back, and the more you do it, the more it hurts your back. So what I recommend and what people I've researched recommend is to start with your hand here and your hand here. And then you just go back and forth like this. And then once you come up, you slip your hand down, and then you're right here on top of the wood. So I'll give you an example. So this is a pretty large piece of wood, and it doesn't always split the first time, but just know your first swing is helping your second swing get the job done. One thing I forgot to mention is it's important not to try to hit right in the middle of a log. Where you really want to try to do is put your force near the outside of it when you're swinging down. That's going to help create a lot more weakness in the wood and help it split a lot easier versus going in the middle. All right, so feet shoulder width apart, top hand here, bottom hand here, swinging motion. Get ready to bend my legs. Oh, and I almost forgot my safety glasses. Don't ever forget your safety glasses. And there you go, just like that. So if you're splitting a lot of wood, that means you've likely cut down a tree. So cutting down a tree, you're going to have a lot of logs like this that are perfectly round. So the first thing you want to do when you see a log like this is to see if there are any imperfections, any cracks that might be pre-existing. So this is a great example of one where you can see two right here. So when you're bringing your axe down, you want to try to exploit the pre-existing crack in the wood, which makes it a lot easier to split. Keep in mind, sometimes these round ones, it takes multiple swings to get them to break, but it helps a lot to have a crack here. So we'll try to exploit that right now. And just like that, it cracked and split just because of that pre-existing crack. So then you exploit the other weak areas. So you can go right here in this corner, knowing that there's not a piece of wood holding this together, so it's a lot weaker. So I'll bring it here and see if we can knock this down in one swing. Just like that, and knocking over the camera in the process. So what you'll find is sometimes you see wood where there's not many imperfections, and that's all right. So what our goal is here is just to give it a good swing and to create our own imperfections and then exploit that. So I'll show you what I mean. So there we go. It took 3 swings, and you can see a crack coming straight through here. So the goal is to keep swinging at the imperfections, and it'll slowly open up. Here we go. And one more. And there it's split. And after that, it'll be pretty easy once it's broken apart. So now we got a good bit of wood left. So let's see how long it takes for me to split the rest of this. So for perspective, that took about an hour to split all that wood. It's a great workout. I strongly encourage anyone to give it a try who hasn't done it before. It's one of the reasons I have such great abs. So thank you for following my channel. Please don't forget to subscribe below. And remember, I'm not a professional. I'm just a guy that bought a splitting axe on Amazon and ended up accidentally in the country. So thanks for watching. See you again on Accidentally Country.